We're going to torque these to the manufacturer's recommended torque of 95 foot-pounds with Molly. As you can see, they tell you to torque this to 130 with 38 motor oil. The lubricant affects the torque readings immensely. It'll change everything. So you have to be very careful of what lubricant you use. If you don't follow their recommended steps, I've done enough of these motors where I can actually feel the bolt stretch. I know when to stop. I know when it needs more. I'll give everything a once over. Before I go to my final torque. And again, for me, this is kind of a feel thing, but I guess the average guy should maybe go to 50, just something lesser, just to get everything seated, and then sneak up on it. That feels good. You can feel it stretch. I certainly wouldn't want to torque it anymore, that's for sure. After it's fully torqued, back each one off individually and go right to torque. When I do the other side, I'll show you a little trick. Okay, we're going to our first torque on this side. Put a stripe on the socket. You'll notice on the second retorque, if you start at a certain position, we'll call it 12 o'clock. I'm going to back this off. Now I'm going to retorque. You'll notice that it's past 12 o'clock. It actually tightened more. See that? So you're actually, what that's telling you is that you're actually doing something by retorquing. I'm starting the stripe always at 12 o'clock. You see how far that went in addition. Okay, we're all set. Starting to look like an engine. When putting your oil pump on, you always have to make sure there's no interference anywhere before you bolt it down. You want to make sure that this is sealed flush, sealed, and you want to make sure it's flat. Now every time I go to put one of these on, they always seem to hit in this area, so I'm going to set this on just to take a look, because I'm sure I'll have to grind something on it. And sure as heck, there you go. It's hitting. So you have to just take a little chunk out of the casting and you'll be good to go. But 99% of the time it will hit. There's our 2 oil pump bolts. I'm going to give them just a little dab of oil. You should never put a bolt in anything dry. The Melling high volume oil pump has a bolt-on pickup, which makes life a lot easier. Beating them in, those press fit ones like a Chevrolet, it's kind of a pain. You need a special tool. This makes life easy. Okay, we're just going to set this oil pan for now, and basically we'll consider it a drip tray for now, so that when I flip it over and put my lifters in, we don't have oil leaking all over the floor. They're going to do some detail work on this at a later date. Okay, we're going to install the balancer. That's from PRW. This is the point where you want some heavy-duty lube, some EP lubricant, so that it doesn't gall anything. You never ever want to press fit anything that doesn't have a good lubricant on it. Cam bearings, harmonic balancer, anything. You don't do anything dry. Same goes for this. Put a little lubricant on the outside where the seal will rub. Don't want to burn up a brand new seal. Our harmonic balancer installation tool. No beating on the balancer with a hammer. Usually these Oldsmobile balancers slip right on. A lot of Chevrolet motors, a lot of different engines. A lot of times they have way too tight of a fit. Oldsmobiles, you rarely have that issue. If anything, they're too loose. This is another one of those things where if you got to fight with it, stop, hone the idea of the balancer, start over, don't force it on. That's it. ARP makes a nice little bolt for the Olds. You know, again, put some lubricant on the friction surfaces, and you'll never torque this bolt properly. It's just too big. It would take probably 150, 180 foot-pounds of torque on a 3/4 grade 8 bolt. So basically sock it on with an impact wrench and call it a day.